Review process, budget officer will present the budget message and budget document. Budget committee may ask questions as we go along. The budget committee chair will ask if the public has any comment. Budget committee may approve the budget by motion. If the budget presentation exceeds the length of meeting, the budget committee may extend the budget committee meeting by a consensus to May 19th at the second meeting. Five on the agenda. Budget officer will read the budget.
Thank you all for taking time out of your day and coming, or out of your evening and coming in for this. Members of the Boardman Urban Renewal Agency Budget Committee. It's hard to believe, but the Boardman Urban Renewal Agency was formed almost 18 years ago. The city's leaders wanted to address some of the utility infrastructure needs that they perceived would be needed and add streets to certain areas of town, all of which were in a blight or undeveloped part of Boardman. Well, that used to be a sizable part of Boardman. The vision of making Boardman better each time and growing its amenities for its residents still resonates with today's leadership. I'm excited to be a part of all the improvements that have been made so far. With the same excitement, I announced that one of the 3 districts within the Urban Renewal Agency is about to end, with the end of fiscal year 25-26. Its original plan, as intended and needed, has reached its term. The West Urban Renewal District finalized its last project by providing sidewalks along a route to school where children will utilize them every day. That's a great project to be the final goal of the package. The 2 remaining districts are known as the Central Urban Renewal District and the recently added North Urban Renewal District. Tonight, we will review the budget for these 2 districts who make up the Boardman Urban Renewal Agency. The Central Urban Renewal District has been in existence since 2008. Being the establishing urban renewal district, it has had a long road of history, being that it is in the central part of town and the heart of Boardman. Working on this area to remove the blight and encourage development was a focus. If you've been around in the last year or so, you can see that a new loop road was put in, giving additional access to areas in the southeast part of downtown. This new access gave light to this area. We've had multiple inquiries from developers who are interested in establishing new businesses in that area. Keep your fingers crossed as we see which ones develop and come to fruition. The next biggest development is in the North Urban Renewal District. The city purchased land last year in the North Urban Renewal District. The plans are to put in new streets and water and sewer lines. Some of the areas are designated for commercial or light industrial, while a large portion is designated for residential. The good news is that the streets and utility infrastructure have been awarded to a contractor who plans to be in construction in a few weeks. Our Public Works Department is prepping some of that area and working on the existing utility lines now. Once that area is opened up with new streets and utility infrastructure, I believe the inquiries from developers will start to pour in. Thanks to the design of how urban renewal areas work, we can invest in our community and make Boardman more beautiful each day. The community makes Boardman beautiful, and I thank you for being a part of it. The following budget for the 2026-2027 fiscal year will outline what more is to come. Respectfully submitted. So starting first with the Central Urban Renewal District on page 5. It summarizes a list of some of the projects that have been completed through the Central Urban Renewal District. The last 2 bullet points are the ones that have been recently completed. In 24-25, Southeast Front Street was completely redone, and Southeast First Street was constructed as a connector to Southeast Oregon Trail Boulevard. And in 25-26, the construction of the Southwest Loop Road, which includes Southwest Oregon Trail Boulevard and connecting to Tatone Street, was completed. So most of our projects have been street improvements, and that has been one of the focuses for Boardman in the last couple of years. For this coming year, if we turn to page 7, you will see the budget for the Central Urban Renewal District. And there is not a lot of new projects for Central Renewal District this year. If we look down in expenditures, the transfer of 400,000, that is because these street projects that we just completed in the last 2 fiscal years, the money was borrowed from the city, from our street reserve. And so now in 26-27, Central Urban Renewal will make a $400,000 payment back to the city. So the payments are calculated based on how much money we have in the Central Urban Renewal District, how many property taxes we anticipate coming in, leaving some in there for contingency and to earn interest, and calculating each year how much the Central Urban Renewal District is able to reimburse the city for. So that is the main purpose here. The professional fees of 20,000, that's for audit fees. So we do have a new auditor this fiscal year. Barely started working with them the last couple of months maybe. So not knowing exactly where the cost of the audit is going to land because the Urban Renewal District does need to do 2 years catch up for their audits. We anticipate and we're sharing the cost between the 2 districts for the audit costs. But that's about all the projects going on with Central Urban Renewal. Anybody have questions? Okay. West Urban Renewal District, that is the one that is coming to an end here on June 30th, 2026. We have awarded the contract for sidewalks down there by Mount Hood area. The areas that were identified as getting infilled with sidewalks or new sidewalks, depending on what was there and what was not, were focused around which ones are the safe routes to school. Let's focus on getting the kids safe to school. The younger the kids, the safety being more prioritized, so closer to the elementary schools. And that is how that neighborhood was selected to infill or replace the sidewalks. And that's going to be the final project for West. After June 30th, it will be presented to the council to officially end the district. No tax levies were levied this fiscal year in preparation for that closure. And so no other activity is at all on the budget for West for this next fiscal year. So if you look on page 10, that's why that is all completely zeroed on the right-hand side. Any questions on West?
And we don't anticipate overspending on the sidewalks, given what we already have in that account.
Right, we work with Anderson Perry, and so they've identified the exact areas that will be infilled or replaced. And if there's a little bit that we go over, the city will pay for that. Because, you know, we're missing 18 inches, we're gonna be, well, sorry, it's out of money.
Right.
Okay, and moving on to North. So that is the newest one of our districts. So we're closing West, kind of done in that area of Boardman. Now we're moving on to North. That's our new area of focus to get some development in there. The big project for North is the Northeast Front Street. And we have named the project the Northeast Front Street Project, but it also includes 3rd Street, 4th Street, and completing Boardman Avenue out to Olson. So all of those are included when we reference in general the Northeast Front Street. Again, that one will be funded by the city. So the city will loan money to North Urban Renewal District. And as property taxes are collected and its ability, it will repay the city over the years.
I see quite an addition to the taxes on income from like 65 this year to 161.
Yes.
Is that presumptuous?
No, so the budget that we that I calculated estimated for last year, which is this current 25-26. First year with North Urban Renewal District, we didn't know where it was going to land. We said, let's be conservative. I talked to the assessor and, you know, okay, we're being conservative. And then our taxes came in closer to the 150,000.
Okay.
And so the 161,500 is more along the lines. And with development coming in, the more taxes we'll be collecting. So even this one, I believe, is a little conservative to what we will actually collect.
Okay.
What new developments do you expect in this district?
So some of the lots there are light industrial commercial and a big portion of it is residential. And we've already had some inquiries about multifamily coming in. So the city's putting in just the infrastructure, water lines, sewer lines, and the streets.
And then the hotel will be there and taxable in 3 years. So they're gonna start in a couple weeks, the hotel right there on the corner. And then that will be their 3 years, right, of abatement or whatever, and then it will come online to get taxed. And then you have the incubator building that will be on Front Street. And then, yeah, we have several other, you have the incubator building, then there's us. If you go west, there's the lot someone's trying to sell. The lot next to the one being sold, we sold, and they've talked about doing some businesses there. So there's definite development coming up in that area.
And Good Shepherd Urgent Care is now open there, so
True.
that tax assessment is probably higher as well.
I guess following up on Karen's question, it's $100,000 increase in taxes that you probably won't realize until at least the following year.
No, we already
I
collected
think
about
this is pretty good.
150,000 this current year.
Yeah.
So when we budgeted last year, we came in way low. What actually was collected.
Okay,
And so now we're truing it up so that it's more aligned.
okay.
Gee,
Right.
we're paying taxes.
So that's the transfer in of the 4,515,000. It's the loan from the city. It's considered a transfer because it's still part of the city. And then under capital projects for expenditures, it's listed down there as the expenditure that would go out for that capital project. And again, sharing the professional fees and the audit fees between North and Central. And those three districts make up the budget for the Urban Renewal Agency. The last couple pages that you have is just reported, all your revenues by district and then your expenditures by district, or all of them combined as one Urban Renewal Agency on page 15, all of your resources combined and all of your expenditures combined. And these are the figures that we just went over. Does anybody have any questions?
So just to be clear, city can't spend any more than what's in here, correct?
Correct.
And can you do anything with interest earned on that? Does that have to stay in that same account as well?
Yes, so the interest earned is also budgeted in here.
Okay.
And with the urban renewals, we allocate the interest to their fund balance, and so that interest remains with that district. So North keeps all of its interest, Central keeps all of its interest, and they can use it either in the repayment to the city or in further projects. Any other questions? That's all I have for Urban Renewal Agency.
Okay, we have time set aside for public comment. Do we have any public comment in the room? Public comment on Zoom? Okay. Can we have a motion to approve the budget as presented?
I move that the Boardman Urban Renewal Agency Budget Committee approve the proposed budget for the 2026-27 fiscal year as presented in the amount of $5,841,700. I further move that the Boardman Urban Renewal Agency Budget Committee certify to the Morrow County Tax Assessor a request for the Boardman Urban Renewal Agency for the maximum amount of revenue that may be raised by dividing under Section 1C, Article 9 of the Oregon Constitution and ORS Chapter 457.
Second that. Moved and seconded, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. We will adjourn the Urban Renewal Budget Committee meeting for 26th. Good job.
Thank you.